Hi folks, CRAZYCLIMBER80 here again, and we're going to look at my latest webcast.
80.
Well, this time we're going to look at some of the cooler things about the game Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a classic for the PlayStation. First off, we're going to explore how to get those white areas on the map, and they are outside the castle. And there are tricks to get there, and they add to the map percentage and the amount of rooms. Neat trick. These aren't actual rooms per se, but they just appear as extra rooms on the map. First off, use the double heart refresh through a doorway. Now with a heart refresh in each hand, and you have to get the duplicator, approach a room segue and jump at it. In mid-jump, use a heart refresh, then midway through, use the other heart refresh, and back and forth 18 times. Now let's look at that in action. Now we're at the library. We're going to do that here. We have to have a heart refresh in each hand, and you have to have the duplicator. Here we go. There's one. And the way you do it is you press the button of the hand that holds the heart refresh, and then partway through you skip to the other hand. And you just push the square, and I think it's the circle buttons, back and forth. And right as the icon for the heart refresh splashes over the screen, you switch over to the other button, and you just keep on going back and forth one at a time. Press the other button here, and now press the other button. And then press the other button. But you don't really want to let go of the button. It's good practice to just hold down on the button and then switch to the other button, hold down that one, and just keep going back and forth 18 times. 18 times is a good number, I think. And once that is over, then you can let go. And notice that Alucard is starting to fall down into the floor. And when you let go, he will be underneath the floor in the next room. Hold to the right as you do this, and you will fall through to the next room. And in this way, you can get those extra rooms. And we'll see how you do that. Under the floor rooms, while stuck under the floor, just use one heart refresh to open up a new room on the map. Use a total of 36 more for each additional room below you want to open up. Hold towards a wall and heart refresh to get a diagonal room, and we'll see that in action as well. Here we go. Now you can simply press heart refresh here and see where I'm at on the map. Just press the heart refresh button. And make sure we have heart refreshes in each hand and the duplicator, because if you don't have the duplicator, you will run out of heart refreshes. There's one heart refresh. Now let's look at the map. See that white spot underneath where I'm at? That's because I used the heart refresh and I opened up a new room, and it'll show on the room total. And when you start your game over or start a new game, that'll reflect in the percentage of rooms as well. And there we got the next one over. And we can move over to the right and get another room. We'll see other tricks to get more rooms. There will be other videos in this series later on that will show some of the more detailed tricks. Now we're hugging the right wall. And while we do that, holding to the right, press the heart refresh and you can get the next room over. And let's look at the map. Yep, I got it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, when you're under the floor, as long as Alucard's in a falling position, he can freely move left and right until he reaches a wall room edge. To progress further, change to a bat. The screen may flicker when you do that, but as it does, change back to Alucard as you're holding towards the wall. If Alucard gets stuck, he'll go, "What?" You change to a wolf and then back to Alucard. If you're near a change disc room, which leads to the red door out of a room out of an area. You can fly out as a bat and get unstuck. You're forced out the door as Alucard, and we'll look at that. See, I'm changed to a bat. And I can fly out of here and to the CD room, change disc room. They call it that because the music changes when you get out of there. And now I'm forced out as Alucard. I'm unstuck. Now, edge travel shift line. This is a new trick. Get a segue doorway slightly off screen. Then you face away from it and dash backwards and right. As you do it, start a chain of heart refreshes. About 10 of them should do it. After shifting a bit, you turn into a bat and fly carefully up to the edge and push up. You can go into the ceiling this way. See, we'll move the exit slightly away, and then we'll dash back, and right during the dash back, start your chain of heart refreshes, and you do 10 of them. And you can notice that Alucard is shifting backwards just a little bit as we do this. Now, if you want to know how to do the, or what's a good emulator to use Castlevania Symphony of the Night on, I use EPSXE. Works pretty well. And yeah, we do a total of 10 heart refreshes, and then Alucard will continue to slide back just a little bit. And then you can turn into a bat and just nudge up to the edge of the screen, just barely, and push upward as you do so, and you'll be able to fly up. There we go. And we can fly up all the way to the ceiling. Now this is the shift line. That's what it's called. You can fly up or down. Here we'll fly up. We can only fly off the screen for now, back to the right. But when you do, you can then fly back the other way. You're just really slow. Turn to mist to fly faster. Alucard or the wolf will likely fall down, so don't use those. So we'll go to the right. You can hear I'm the bat. He's screeching. If you hold to the left, you're very slow as the bat. But wait until you get back to this room, then you can change to mist and you'll move a lot faster. And see where I'm at in the ceiling right there. And I can fly all the way to the left in the mist form. And you can actually get a couple rooms if you move all the way to the left and then down a little bit. You can turn to Alucard when you're in the wall to the far left, but he'll start falling big time. And I might be able to get an extra room by dive kicking to the left and using a heart refresh. See if that'll work. Changing to Alucard. Did I get that room to the left of me there? Yes, I did. Cool. And I'll get another room right here. And I got the diagonal room by pushing to the left and heart refreshing. Now, here's a trick called backdash heart refresh into the wall. Use the tech from earlier. Just keep the wall off screen a little bit. You can chain heart refreshes during a backdash and you can slide through the wall. As bat or mist, you may be able to fly back up to the ceiling. But you need to use a whole lot more heart refreshes. We're going to do this in Dracula's lair or Shaft's lair or whatever in the first castle. But you can do this in a number of other places. But yeah, you got to have those heart refreshes in each hand and the duplicator. The duplicator is super expensive. But there's a trick to get infinite money, and I'll show that in a future video. I will not do all the heart refreshes. I will skip through a bunch of them. But you got to do a whole ton of them. You need to back up enough so that you can go right through that wall. But yeah, there's a lot of cool tricks left that I need to show you, and I'll do that in a future video. But there doesn't seem to be quite enough glitches or tricks videos for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Maybe there's more than I think there is, but I wanted to make an easy to follow video. And we're gonna scoot forward to more backdash heart refreshes, but you need to do a whole lot of them for this trick to work. But then you will get inside the wall, and you can fly up to the top, and there in this area you can walk on the ceiling as Alucard and easily open up some new rooms. And there I flew way up there. I'm not gonna get extra rooms just by flying along the wall. I tried to dive kick to the left. Well, did that open up a room? No. But I'm going to be in the ceiling as Alucard. Use these tricks and just kind of experiment in different areas. Maybe one day I'll do a video of each area. Oh, there I got the diagonal room. If you are able to stand on the ceiling, doing a double jump and starting a heart refresh as you do your second jump, do a chain of heart refreshes, probably about 12 or so, you can open up another room above your head. Now, here's a trick called Mist Up. Get your next HP or XP quota down to 1 or so, to level up. Do the backdash 10 heart refresh chain and get into the ceiling via shift line like earlier. Change to Mist. Now get your sword familiar. You have to have it at level 99. Have it kill an enemy while you're in the ceiling to level you up. So we'll do the backdash heart refresh chain. You do the slide, and right as you're sliding, do the heart refresh chain. And after we do 10 of those, then we can turn into a bat and fly up in the corner. And once we get up to the top, then we'll need to go right and then back left, and then once we're back in this screen, we'll turn to Mist, and then we'll call forth our sword familiar. And if he's leveled up to 99, he will do his best to kill any enemy that's on screen. And we will have a flea, I forget what his name is, Axe Flea Man or something. He will get killed by the sword familiar. And I only have 1 XP left. So once the sword kills him, I will level up. And as I'm Mist and in the ceiling, I will open up a room above me. So this technique is called Mist Up. So let's fly back to the left, change into Mist. There we go. And see, I've only got 1 XP next. We'll turn on the sword card. And he will kill that flea man or whatever it's called in armor with the axe. And there I leveled up, and there's the room I opened up with the Mist Up trick. Now, how to escape from being stuck? Don't panic if you get stuck and you don't know how to get out. If Alucard just goes "Hurrah!" and you can't seem to get out of the floor, equip a good two-handed sword with a special thrust move. You press forward, back, forward, and attack. Change to the wolf and back, and as soon as you are Alucard again, do the trick. If you heard Alucard go "Hurrah!" and he thrusts forward, you did it right. Right after pausing and going to the menu, put a library card in one hand. As you go back to the game, wail on that library card. You'll whisk out of being stuck into the library, and let's see that happening. And we're going to get a two-handed sword. I like the claymore. When you press forward, back, and then forward again and attack, you do this special move. But if you're Alucard, see, I didn't quite do it. right? If you're Alucard and you're under the floor and you need to get out, do that trick. Right as soon as, even if you think you did the thrust move, pause. But if you recall that you did not thrust forward as you did the move, it's still good to pause. Yeah, still didn't do it. Try it again. Just keep trying. You'll eventually get it. Remember, forward, back, and attack. You'll eventually get it, and you'll see Alucard thrust forward. Raw! And right as you pause when he does that, you need to get library card in your hand. There we go! So equip a library card and use that hand that you have the library card in to warp out of there, and you'll go back to the library and be unstuck. That's how you get unstuck, when you can't seem to get out of the floor, or if you don't have a CD or change disc room nearby that will force you out as Alucard, as we saw earlier. There we go. There's the library card in action. Takes me back to the library. Very, very, very helpful trick. But there are lots of other tricks I'll show you in the near future in another Castlevania Symphony of the Night video. Great, great, great game. My favorite in the Castlevania series. Now, we do a trick called Fly Outside the Chapel. Go to the area left of the confessional room in the chapel. Go near the left door, and then turn on the sword card. Use the Sword Brothers spell. Down, down, forward, forward, up, hold that, and then down and square or circle. Your familiar must be level 99. As you do the spell and the sword spins around, turn into a bat and fly out left. You can fly all around the chapel area, leaving a wide swath of extra rooms. Crossing in front of a doorway can re-enter the castle and get you unstuck. Or you could, if you're standing on a high wall or castle roof in this area, you can super jump. You press down, up, and jump, and then do the regular jump after that, and do a HR chain, heart refresh chain, while you're off the screen a bit. Keep it up till you come back down, and you may open a room. I kind of touched on that earlier, but let's look. See, note there's the Sword Brothers spell. It is down, down, forward, 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 up, hold up for a couple seconds, then down and square or circle, and you'll do the Sword Brothers spell. And while the sword is spinning around, turn into a bat and fly to the left here. There's the trick. Turn into a bat. Now you can fly up. And I am opening up rooms. See, there's one. Just keep flying around. There's a big amount of rooms, or a large number of rooms you can open up. If you see a kind of a doorway area that you fly in front of, you might get unstuck and be forced back into the chapel. But I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. We're still outside of this area, but you can you can fall down here with Alucard and use a heart refresh and get an extra room. See? But you can easily, you've got plenty of room to easily fly around as a bat or mist. And when you change back to Alucard, which you have to here because the bat can't fly through there, you'll be able to control him. You can move him left or right. And yeah, here you can do the high jump plus the second jump after that. And as you're holding down the jump button, start a heart refresh chain. I didn't do it enough there, but yeah, you'll want to do the heart refresh chain long enough. Keep your eyes peeled. I didn't do it long enough. And there's the second jump. Okay, this time I got it. So start the heart refresh chain. Keep your eyes peeled. Look really carefully for Alucard's feet to start landing. When you see his feet come down, it'll probably be about 10 heart refreshes or so. But when you see his feet start to come down, you can let go of the chain and then check the map to see if you opened up an extra room. It's kind of hard to explain and for you to understand when I tell you about it. You kind of have to work on it and then maybe check what I said on the video, and then it'll start to make sense. Just takes a while to figure out, but the most basic move you want to learn is the double heart refresh and how to keep a chain going. You just switch from one button to the other during the heart refresh and just go back and forth and back and forth. And like I said earlier, if you fall into the floor and you do... There, I opened up another room. If you fall into the floor and you do a 36 chain of heart refreshes, 36 of them, you will open up an extra room, not just one from doing it once. Eventually, we will be able to fly back upwards as the bat. And that's right here. And now we're opening up more rooms. Now, if you're worried about getting stuck here or anything, like I said, you could fly in front of a doorway, and we'll look at that in a moment. Or you could get on top of the tower here and use a library card. And since, by this point you'll probably have the duplicator, you don't have to worry about running out of library cards. You can get hit by enemies that are inside the chapel. See, if I moved downwards here, then I would go back into the chapel and be unstuck. Although I'm not really stuck. There's options to get out of here. But this is one of the first tricks I ever read about in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and it's easily one of the cooler tricks and easier to pull off. And again, you can fly in front of that doorway, that little area there, and you will be forced back into the chapel. But I wanted to show you as far as I could the extra rooms that you can get using this trick. But yeah, try to learn the trick to get unstuck from a tough area in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Get that two-handed sword and do the forward, back, forward thrust move and pause right in the middle of it, even if you're not sure if it worked, because it might have, and you might have lost your opportunity if you didn't pause real quick. And then you have to use the library card when you get back from the pause screen. Again, it's hard to figure out on your own, but now I think I will fly in front of the doorway and get forced back in. See there, I just fly out to the right, and there I'm back in the castle. But that's how you get a lot of rooms in the chapel area. Well, that was my compendium of Castlevania tricks, or Castlevania Symphony of the Night tricks, Volume 1. And there's going to be a lot more to explore in my next volume. I appreciate those who have sent me their video requests. I promise I will get to those sometime. This was just a series I needed to do. It was just in the back of my mind for a long time. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little something, and hope you join me with my next video. Have a good one, folks, and I'll see you later.